right, let's review geometric sequence. To determine if a sequence is geometric, you have to multiply to get the next term. When I look at this particular problem, 1, 4, 16, 64, to determine if that truly multiplies by the same thing and find its common ratio, I can take the second term and divide it by the first term. It equals 4. Well, it also should be true that 16 divided by 4 should also equal 4. And that 64 divided by 16 is 4. I take each term and divide it by the one that's in front of, or behind it, the one next to it, before it, and it should give me the same value. There we go. Screened in just a little bit. All right. So now, since I got 4 on all of those things, it is geometric. Got my eye, sorry. It is geometric, and my common ratio is 4. Well, now the other things that we need to be able to find are our recursive formulas and our explicit formulas. Here's the two formulas that I gave you for both of these, and we're going to use them right now to review doing this problem using these two formulas. We'll start with the recursive formula. There you go. I think you can see that a little bit. And we'll slide up just a tad. Okay, so for the recursive formula, I'm going to take a sub n is equal to my r. Well, my r in this problem is 4 times the quantity a sub n minus 1. Every time you write a recursive formula, you will have a sub n equals something and the a sub n minus 1. Those are subscripts. They are written small and lower. Okay, so there's my recursive formula for this problem. That's all I have to do. I don't need to do anything else to make that problem work. Now to write the explicit formula. Again, I'm going to use this formula here. A sub n equals a sub 1, which means my first term, times the ratio to the n minus 1 power. So a sub n equals, well, my first term in this sequence is 1, parenthesis, my r, to the n minus 1 power. Now, you may or may not see the 1 written on a multiple choice type test. You may just see this, which is perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay to have it just written without the 1. All right, that's our recursive and explicit formulas. Well, I may also, in this problem, ask you to find the 8th term. Well, if I ask you to find the 8th term, you're going to come back to your explicit formula. A sub 8 is equal to 1, 4 to the 8 minus 1 power. I go to my calculator, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to put in 1 parenthesis 4, use the little caret to do the exponent, and 8 minus 1, press enter, and my answer is 16,384. 16,384. And that has answered all of the questions for this problem. This particular problem did not ask you to find the recursive, but I want to make sure that we review the recursive formula for you as well. All right, so for number 2, let's go through this again. I've got to determine if it's geometric, so I'm going to take and divide. Now notice here I have a negative, a positive, a negative, a positive, and negative. That provides me a little interesting turn of events. Take the second one, divide it by the first one, gives me -4. Take the third one, divide it by the second one, still gives me -4. Take the fourth one, -128, and divide it. Oh, I'm sorry. You cannot see any of that. I apologize. There we go. Divided by 32, and that also gives me -4. I get -4 for all of those. Therefore, this is geometric, and my ratio is -4. The first thing I need to determine, is it geometric, and what the ratio is. Well, now I want to write both my recursive formula and my explicit formula. Let's slide those in over here to remind you what they are. Okay, so to write the recursive, it's a sub n equals r times a to the sub n minus 1. Well, my r here is -4, parenthesis a sub n minus 1. There's my recursive formula. It is finished. I don't have to do anything else to it. Now to write the explicit formula. Let me slide that in up here and to review that formula with you. There we go. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So I need my first term and my r. In this problem, my first term is a 2. So a sub n equals a sub 1, which is 2. Parenthesis, my r is -4 to the n minus 1 power. That provides me both my explicit formula and my recursive formula. I have both of them there. Now, this also asks you to find the 8th term. The 8th term. So I'm going to take where the n is and plug in the 8. So for the 8th term, 2 times -4 to the 8 minus 1. Again, I'm going to pull up my calculator and type that in. 2, parenthesis, -4, parenthesis, caret 8 minus 1, arrow over. Okay, let's press enter and see what our answer is. -32,768. Let's write that in. -32,768. This has reviewed with you, I hope, how to determine if the equation is geometric and finding the common ratio, writing our recursive and explicit formulas, and then finding a given term when it asks for it. Again, these are geometric sequences.